Two ice cream seller workers are standing and selling ice cream. The weather is hot, and many people are passing by. A poor little girl goes to the first worker and shows the stones in her hand, saying, "Can you give me ice cream in exchange for these coins?" The first worker looks at her with anger. The first worker replies, "Go away, don't bother me." Then the poor girl goes to the second worker and says, "Will you give me a cup of ice cream in exchange for these stones?" The second worker notices the girl's innocent face. The second worker smiles and says, "Of course." She gives her an ice cream cup and takes the stones. The girl feels very happy. The girl thanks her and leaves happily. The first worker says, "Are you crazy? You took stones and gave her ice cream." She looks shocked and confused. The second worker softly replies, "She was very hungry, that's why I helped her." The second worker says, "My mother says helping someone is always good." Later, the first worker leaves as her shift ends. The poor girl is sitting on a bench eating ice cream. She enjoys every bite slowly. After some time, the girl comes back and says, "Can I help you?" The worker says, "It's not as easy as you think." Suddenly, the worker gets a call. Her phone starts ringing loudly. The doctor says, "Come quickly, your mother's condition is getting worse." The worker gets worried. She starts feeling nervous. The doctor says it's urgent. Meanwhile, the first worker complains to the boss, saying the new worker gave free ice cream for stones. She exaggerates the situation. The boss listens carefully. The new worker tells the girl, "My mother is in the hospital and her condition is critical." The girl feels concerned. The girl says, "Then you should go." The worker says she might lose her job. The girl replies, "I will take care of everything." The worker hesitates for a moment. The worker trusts her and rushes to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctor says her mother needs urgent surgery and it will be expensive. The worker feels helpless. The worker says she has no money, but promises to pay later. Back at the stall, the poor girl tries to sell ice cream, but no one buys. People ignore her. She feels hungry and eats one ice cream, then another, and finishes all of them. When the worker returns, she sees the empty cart and happily says, "Wow, you sold everything." She feels proud of the girl. She hugs the girl and asks for the money. The girl looks down and says, "Sorry, I was hungry, so I ate all the ice cream." The worker stays silent. The boss arrives and says, "Wow, you sold everything. Let's make your contract." The worker says, "I was hungry, so I ate all the ice cream." The boss is surprised. The boss says, "I saw everything. You helped that hungry girl and still protected her by taking the blame." The worker replies, "She was hungry. I couldn't let people call her a thief." The boss smiles and says, "You are honest and kind. You are hired and promoted as manager." The worker is shocked and thankful. The boss says, "Find the girl who made this miracle happen." The worker goes to the park but finds only a note that says, "Today, you were my angel." The worker smiles with tears. Later at the hospital, the doctor says, "Your mother's surgery was successful." The worker feels relieved. Tears come to her eyes. The doctor says, "Someone already paid all the bills." The worker understands it was her boss. She thanks God with tears in her eyes. Was the boss right to help her? And was the worker right to protect the little girl? Share your opinion in the comments and share this video so more people can give their thought.